Good evening, everybody. It's me, Skin Glow and Afro. Thanks for all the likes, comments on my previous videos that I did 2 days ago. I was meant to actually post yesterday, but I'm lazy, you know. So yeah, I'm sorry. I'm back today. Today I wanted to talk about Caribbean elitism. When I say Caribbean elitism, it's not something that's specific to the Caribbean, you know. However, what I'm talking about is this whole notion of we need to speak proper English in order to be seen as a decent, civilized human being. And I don't know what it is with some Caribbean islands that they seem to get this mentality that you have to speak a certain way in order to be seen as, you know, professional. What is wrong with a person speaking their traditional language? This is why I've observed a lot of islands are actually losing their traditional languages because nobody is enforcing it. Instead of enforcing that we need to speak English, why is it we must have this proximity to whiteness in order to be seen as good as them? They're not that great either. If you keep it 100, they're not that great either. I mean, think about it. They've colonized the whole world. They've literally forced the English language onto us. We was not speaking English before they came along. Yet now, they've done so much damage to our mentality that in order for us to succeed in the world, we have to speak English. And do you know how corrupt this is to be in your country that you've grown up in, you speak a certain way and someone says, no, that's not good enough, you need to speak proper English. And I'm sick and tired of this bullshit. Everyone is always doing this. Like someone will write a certain way and they'll be like, oh, is that your grammar? Is that good English? And I'm like, why don't you shut the fuck up? Yeah, seriously, why don't you shut the fuck up? Like, honestly, what is it? How are you going to shame someone for speaking poor English? But why? Because it's not up to your standards and you're a black person doing this. Do you not see the absolute irony that our mother tongues were ripped out of our mouths and forced upon us this English language, and yet you shame other black people for not speaking correct English, as in correct English in your standards. Really gets on my nerves. It really does. I mean, I have to admit, I used to do this when I was younger, but eventually got out of it. However, if you are over the age of 25 and you are still shaming someone for not speaking proper English, you need to get a grip. You need a slap. You need all sorts of things that I can just like literally throw at your dumb head. You understand? Stop shaming people. You don't know what the story is behind them person not speaking proper English. They could have dyslexia. English couldn't even be their first language, and yet you're trying, instead of embracing that, they're trying to learn this new language which is alien to them. It's not alien to you because you've lived it. You've grown up hearing this, but it's brand new to them. And instead of saying, oh, you know what, you're doing really well, instead, you know, you choose to go and shame them. And what kind of fuckery is that? Seriously, I'm sorry, I apologize for swearing, but this really gets on my nerves. I really don't like this elitist, snobbish attitude that a lot of black people are picking up these days about you don't speak proper English. So basically you're saying, oh, you're not as good as me. They may not be, but they may not be better than you, as in your standards, but in their standards, they're probably the top of their freaking game. But what is, like, honestly, like, do you not think that what you're saying is wrong? Do you not think that it's just like some kind of foolishness? Do you honestly think what you're saying is correct? And it's the right way to go about things. I find it so ironic that black people can sit there and moan about racism and talk about colonialism and all this kind of stuff, and they don't seem to realise part of that is how we speak is colonialism. The British ruled the fucking world. That's why we speak English. They literally took over everything. Now, of course, there were other countries that got involved, you know, like France, America. However, I'm talking about the English because the majority of the countries in the world, they do actually speak English. And you have to realise that's the legacy of slavery. That's the legacy of the transatlantic slave trade. That's the legacy of colonialism. And when you sit there and act high and mighty and act like the way you speak is better than other people is really bothersome. And this is why I don't like when Caribbean people do this. Tweet, I believe it was last week, and this girl was saying about the, you know, the dancehall artist Spice, and this girl was commenting saying, oh, I love the fact that she can speak proper English without the Jamaican twang. And I was just thinking to myself, are you fucking serious? Are you actually serious? You love the fact that she can speak standard Jamaican English without the accent. I was thinking to myself, you cannot be serious. And I was surprised at the amount of retweets you got. Do you not understand how foolish you sound? Seriously, how foolish you sound. To say something like that, as if it's supposed to be commendable she can speak proper English, as if it would even be a problem if she chose to do that interview and spoke in patois. I would have been like, go on, Spice, speak your truth. But no, because she's there speaking standard English, that is why people are praising her. And it just really makes me sick that you will literally sit there and say, oh, I'm so happy that she's speaking proper English without patois, without that deep Jamaican twang, which I think is beautiful. No, you just say, oh yeah, she's speaking good English, and that's something to clap hands at. Listen, you need a clap on your face. I don't think that Caribbean black people, actually any black people across the world who do this, is going to stop, because I think it's become to a point where English is what we know, and that's what they're going to keep. That's what they're going to keep. Excuse me. That's what they're going to keep pushing to the forefront. It doesn't matter if we object to it. It doesn't matter if we say no. It's okay for a person to speak patois in Jamaica, Bajan Creole in Barbados, speak Creole in Dominica, speak Creole in Haiti. It doesn't matter about any of that, because as long as we hold on to this idea that speaking English as in proximity to whiteness is a lot better, then we are not going to advance as a person. Yes, speaking English does get you places, but did you know if you want to go work in different countries, you need to be able to speak different languages as well, not just speaking English. So we need to get out this mindset that English is the best language in the world. What you're essentially saying is, even though you claim to be pro-black, you're still subscribing to that bullshit that white people enforced upon you. So let's keep it 100. You understand? Let's keep it 100. You are full of shit if you do this. Okay? Yes, speak English if you want to speak English, but don't put that above other people who choose to speak their languages. Seriously, don't. Because I actually think other languages other than the English language is actually beautiful. So, you know, fix up. That's all I gotta say. All right, bye.